to get paid more per hour as an online fitness coach. First up, if you're currently coaching your clients offline, in person, in a boot camp, in a gym, in a studio, that's absolutely fine. But what if you want remote freedom to work from anywhere in the world without being tied down to one specific location? What about spending more time with your kids where you actually get to eat dinner with them, eat breakfast with them instead of having to be training clients? Or maybe you want to work with clients from all over the world and not just from your backyard. I'm talking about clients in international countries from lots of different walks of life that you can get to work with. Well, before we go into that, here's a quick win. Quick win from our clients, Frank and Mindy in the Philippines. This screenshot here will show that they've hit $19,000 plus. They actually went beyond and hit $20,000 for the month. So shout out to Frank and Mindy in the Philippines. Well done, guys. So something that's really important to understand here is if you aren't learning how to leverage your time by making money while you're not working, then you're going to work until you die. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if you want to make more impact, if you want to make more money without having to work more and actually prepare for your future at the same time, then you might want to know how to make money online. And more importantly, when you sleep, it's important for us to understand that time can never be replenished. We can always find more money, but we can never find more time. So trading away our future hours just doesn't make any sense. It does in your 20s, maybe your 30s, but as you start to go through this Fit Pro journey, you start to get married and you have kids and you're into your 40s and whatever it may be, we get to a point of our journey where time is a higher value asset than money. But if we still want to make money, how can we make money without spending more of our time? Well, let's look at this. Well, it's important to understand that all of the top entrepreneurs know this. They don't trade their time for more money. They leverage their time by using automation, by using people, by using systems. Using people sounds a bit strange, doesn't it? You know what I mean? By making more money when they're not working. This is the smart way. It's about working smarter, not working more. When I was a personal trainer in gyms, I was working harder. I wasn't working smarter. Now I work less because I'm working smarter. If you ever watch a game, like a soccer game, football game, or any other sports game where it's team-based, team-orientated, and you see the older boys who are just doing it for a bit of fun, they sit back and they read the game. They're not running about like what they used to do in their teens and their 20s. They stand back and they read the game and they read what's happening. This is what we've got to do as we become older in this fitness industry, is we start to read what's happening. We start to think smarter, not work more, and we get more freedom. Well, if you want this online thing to work, one of the first things that you must do is you must delay instant gratification. I'm talking about the fancy car, the big house, the fancy clothes and holidays and everything else when the money starts rolling in. We want to be able to build upon our success so that we never have to keep hustling and trading our time for money. So we start building and we don't worry about capturing all of those materialistic things at all, or at least in the beginning, so that we can get further down the road and we can have as many of those things as we want. I remember back to when I was working in health clubs and I started my sessions at 6 a.m. and I finished at 2:30 p.m. I then started at 3 p.m. straight through to 11 p.m. doing one-to-one PT sessions. And if I wasn't doing that, I was working 6 a.m. to 2:30 PT sessions and then 2:30 to 3 p.m. till 11 p.m. on shift. And I was making bank, I was making money, but I was done in, I was exhausted. But what's more important is I was trading my time for money. And it's something in my 20s and my early 30s that I never understood the concept of. I never understood that time was more valuable than money. And you never will until you start to become older and you realize that you traded so much of your time for money. Now, I'm not saying you have to exit the gym. I'm not saying you have to stop training clients in person. If that's your bag, if that floats your boat, if that's your thing, then fantastic. You can do that. You can do both. But trading time for money as you get older is stealing from your future. For me personally, as I started to get to mid to late 30s, I no longer wanted to spend hours in the gym. I wanted to spend it with my kids and my family. I love my clients, but if I had to choose, I would rather spend it with my family. So I don't like what anybody else done. I tried to figure out how to make it work by putting all of my years of knowledge together and giving it to people who wanted it by creating systems that didn't require me to stand there next to my clients and count reps and correct technique. Yep, I went online. And this online world in the beginning was confusing. I didn't know where to start. It was like a brand new world. And I got to be honest, I was a little bit lost. But what I was doing is I was making this transition to win back my time. So if you're watching this training right now and you're thinking, how do I get online? How do I start finding clients? Well, one of the first things that you can start doing before we even look at finding clients is the very first thing is you want to minimize your expenditure. I'm talking about getting rid of things that no longer serve you. If you really want this online thing to work, I got news for you. It's fucking hard. It's really hard. But the long-term benefits of it are so much higher than in person because it gives you so much freedom of time and location. So I don't know, do you need to get rid of a car that you don't really need? Maybe, maybe not. Do you need to stop buying fancy shit that you don't need? Maybe it's your clothes. I don't know. What I do know is you need to delay instant gratification. You don't need any of that stuff in the beginning. You can get it later. Shit, I was living in 9p noodles and 23p cans of tuna from Asda because I understood that the noodles were my carbs and the protein, the tuna was my protein, and that was it. I had my basic macros. That was all I needed. 9p, 23p, that was it. That was my food. Now, I'm not suggesting you should do that for for 1 second, but what I am saying is there might be some things that you need to sacrifice if you really want what you say you want. Do you really want online success? The next thing you might want to do is you might want to reduce your clients and your time commitments. So if you've got a whole stack, a whole roster of clients right now that you're working with in person and you have no time to build your online business, you might want to slow some of them down. You might want to get rid of the low-paying clients or the clients that you don't really like working with anyway. Get rid of those people, take a tiny, tiny financial hit and start side hustling your online coaching business. Now, if you want to take the shortcut, another thing you can do is you can just look at credit. Now, this is something I done in the early days. Again, I'm not saying you have to do this, but you can look at credit if you're looking to hire a mentor, if you're looking to run ads. You can start, you can look at PayPal credit, PayPal working capital, a credit card, a loan from a parent. I don't know what that thing is, but sometimes you just got to get resourceful to get what you want. I became ridiculously resourceful to get to where I am today. And because of that, it's why I found success. I think if I wasn't resourceful, I wouldn't have gotten to where I am today. So being resourceful is really important. So an interesting question I want to pose to you today is, what will your future look like if you don't change anything from what you're doing today? If you just continue to do everything that you're doing right now, as a personal trainer, as a health coach, as a fitness coach for the next 20, 30, 40 years, what does your life look like in 20, 30, 40 years? Are you happy with that? You see, for me, when I was working in health clubs, there was a specific health club I was working at. It was a Bannatyne's health club. I was the fitness manager of this health club at the time. And Duncan Bannatyne comes in. And for anybody who's watching this will know who Duncan Bannatyne is, or listening to this will know who Duncan Bannatyne is, where he owns 65, I believe, at the time of doing this. He owns 65 gyms across the UK. And I can remember he came into the gym and he was doing a book signing. And this was his first book that had came out. And he was asking everybody what did he want to write in the cover, the inside cover. And I said, to a future millionaire. And he looked up at me and he laughed. And when he laughed, I stood there with a straight face. Then he stopped laughing. It was as if he believed me. I've never spoke or had an interaction with Duncan since, or I did once after that, twice actually, but we didn't speak about that becoming a millionaire or the book or anything else. And that's not the point. The point is that I seen freedom in him, and I seen that I didn't want to trade the rest of my years as a fitness trainer inside a gym. I wanted to leverage my time like what he was doing. And a message that he shared with us was, if you want to make more money, spend more time selling, or as I like to call it, caring. Because when you do that, you need to be booking more calls. And booking more calls to have conversations with prospective clients equals more sales. More sales equals more money, and more money equals more freedom. And more freedom equals more time to spend with my kids and my family and doing anything else that I want to do. So how do we do it? Number one, you build an audience. You build an audience of the people that you want to work with. How do you find them? You find out who's already serving them, and you step in front of the traffic and you hijack it and say, hey, look, there's another burger joint in town. Do you want to try our burgers out as well? That's basically metaphorically all you're doing. You then produce content that converts. I'm talking about magnetizing content. that speaks about the conversation inside your client's mind. This gives me the ability to reach thousands of people rather than just a few people in my hometown. We then want to create a story video to drive your audience to. This is your story of where you were, how did you come up with your unique mechanism, your system that gets your clients results? How did it come about? How did you mix up this magic potion? And what was the result of it? You direct people to that story video. Then they move from strangers to followers to believers to clients. Now, if you're watching this right now or listening to this right now and you're thinking, well, this is all great, Rob, but I just need more money. Needing more money and having more money is linked to higher skill set. If you don't have the money you want right now, you may just not have the skill set. Now, I'm not talking about skill set as a fitness coach. You may just not have a skill set in building your audience and being a marketer, producing content. Maybe not copywriting is not good enough. Booking appointments, turning awkward conversations into booked appointments. Maybe you're not good enough at that yet. Maybe your appointment setting skills need to be upgraded. Maybe your closing skills, your sales skills, or your care skills, as we like to call them at Boss Coaches, are not good enough yet. You got to up-level that skill set. And that can be learned. So in a nutshell, how do we start making more per hour as an online fitness coach compared to in person? Well, we build a leverage-based system. This is a system where it doesn't matter if we bring in 5, 10, or 50 clients this week. They all get served with the same approach, but they get coached individually. So we're not giving a cookie cutter program to everybody. It's the same foundations because they all want the same thing. Most of you are struggling right now because you're serving lots of different audiences and you need to keep writing lots of different programs and nutrition programs. And that's nuts. So you have to leverage your time. Whereas if you build a system for a specific group of people, 45 plus ladies who want to lose body fat, ladies who are struggling through the menopausal roller coaster, 40 plus men who are struggling to lose man boobs or belly fat, people that are struggling with diabetes, cholesterol issues, whatever, those are all a specific group. Now you build your program around the thing that you want to do and the people that you want to help. You build the foundations, you give them the foundations, you coach them individually, and you can coach multiple people from all over the world. You stop trading time for money and you get your freedom back. If you've enjoyed this training, don't forget to like, thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, and also check out the goodies in the comments below. We've got some free courses in there for you. You can check out more of the good stuff. I'm going to see you in the next training.